our big spotlight then for this evening. CNBC TV18's landmark startup show, Young Turks, completed 15 years yesterday. At the event, I caught up with Shailesh Rao, the Vice President of Twitter. He's bullish on the India story. In fact, going on to say that India is the fastest growing market in Asia for Twitter, and Asia is the fastest growing market for India. In fact, just as far as digital consumption is concerned, as far as Twitter goes, there has been a 400% jump over last year. Here's a slice of that special conversation.
Twitter is very bullish on India. It is the fastest growing market for us in Asia in terms of both users and revenue. So we're very excited about India, and that's why I'm here. That's why we're spending time here, investing in the market. We want to make sure that Twitter is fully utilized by users and by businesses across the country.
So going forward, what do you think are the immediate milestones that Twitter has for India? For instance, tell us, to begin with, the number of users you have in India and the rate of growth of the users in the country.
Well, we don't break out statistics at the country level, but I can characterize, again, the sort of nature of the growth we're seeing. It is the fastest growing market for us in Asia, and Asia is the fastest growing region for the company in the world. So by that, you can see the importance of India to our overall business and why we're so focused on the market. Very exciting for us. You also asked what we're focused on. We're very focused on education. Relatively new service in the country. We're reaching out to businesses, advertising agencies, chief marketing officers, as well as creators to help them understand how to get the most out of Twitter. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we had a creative summit here in India, gathering many creators from around the country to talk about digital-first creation and publishing, how that works, how to connect with India, particularly the youth of India on platforms like Twitter.
Tell me a little bit about, the 2 or 3 key factors that make you so bullish about the India market. When you look at, and even when you brief, the headquarters in the US, what are the 2, 3 things that you highlight to the board in terms of why Twitter is very bullish on India and why India will continue to be a big growth driver for you?
Sure. I think we start with our investment focus by looking at our track record. And we've had tremendous early success in India already. So you have the moral high ground. We can talk about investing more in a market when you're already successful, both in terms of growing usage and in revenue. So that's number one. Number two, we look at the sheer scale of the country. Huge market, lots of users. And third, the trajectory of growth. The growth of our business, but also the growth of the market overall. The digital advertising market, which is our principal source of business, is already over $1 billion, as well as the overall growth of internet and smartphone users in the country. This is a market which will be hundreds of millions of users using their smartphone to access content and services. The question is which ones? We'd like it to be Twitter.
India is one of the fastest growing markets, even in terms of the number of new businesses that are getting added. In fact, that's the prediction by the government and by various other independent agencies as well. With such a vibrant startup environment and a culture, how does Twitter benefit from that?
Well, first of all, we just generally love to see innovation, entrepreneurship, and the energy in India is palpable. It's one of the most creative markets in the world, if you ask me. I'm actively an investor, an advisor to many founders here in the country. So I really believe in what's happening here. From a business perspective for Twitter, it's directly relevant. Twitter is not just a consumer end service, it's also a platform. We offer a set of APIs through what we call Fabric, and mobile developers in particular use our functionality and Twitter content to make their services better. It's good for developers because it improves their apps, and it's good for Twitter because it extends the reach of the Twitter platform and content to a far broader audience of prospective users. So we're really excited about the fact that this is the second largest market of Android mobile developers in the world for Twitter after the United States in terms of using Fabric. So it's a great market for us in terms of mobile developers as well.
A little over a year back, if I'm correct, Twitter also, you started your own venture capital arm and you had started investing in startup businesses. You made, a few investments also. Any possibility of maybe at least a part of that money, coming into India and you funding maybe a part of some of the, some of the success stories that you've heard here all day?
As I've said, I view India as one of the hubs of technology innovation, and certainly it's our intention to have a very close partnership to the entrepreneurship community here in India, VCs, angel investors, and startups as well. You might recall not that long ago we acquired an India-based startup called ZipDial, and we've really benefited from the inclusion of that team and their capabilities. It's helped us understand emerging markets like India better and allowed us to leverage that technology to better connect with Indian users across the country as well as Indian businesses. So we've done it. We're continue to look at companies here as partners, and it'll be an ongoing process to stay connected to the community here in India.
You know, when Jack Dorsey took over, he had said that his ultimate vision was to connect pretty much everybody on the planet. Talk us through that vision. Tell us how you're making Twitter more accessible, more simple, more user-friendly.
Well, we definitely believe that Twitter is a platform for anybody in the world because it allows you to have access to critical information related to your interests and your daily life. And it also allows you to have a voice on the platform and express yourself. We've seen the power of this in crises with floods here in Chennai and Kashmir. We've seen it in crises in Tokyo as well. We've also seen it expressed during critical decisions like Brexit in Europe, and also in the United States, the use of Periscope Live as the government was fighting and protesting to debate gun control, and traditional television wasn't covering them, so they used Periscope to get their message out. When you see moments like that of crisis or hot debates around critical issues to society, and when you see Twitter being used as the go-to platform for communication, it emboldens you to believe that this platform is a good thing, and you want to put it in the hands of everyone possible. India is an important component of the world, over 1 billion people. So to be successful in the world, we have to be successful in India. Jack's focus is in making sure that the product is as easy to use as possible. And if it's easy to use, then we have a better chance of having everyone in the world benefit from the platform. A main focus for us has really been around letting people use video on Twitter. We sometimes think about Twitter from long ago as a text-based service, and certainly that's where it started. Today, if you look at Twitter and you look through your timeline, you'll see it's a rich media experience full of images, GIFs, emojis, and video. In fact, video consumption here in India is up 300% year over year, and video has been a huge winner with users around the world. So we're really committed to video because we believe video is a language independent, easy way for people to connect with the platform, express themselves, and also consume important content.
We've seen a lot of important changes in the way Twitter functions globally. Like videos is, of course, one example. You've added that. You've relaxed your character limit when it comes to, images. And there are a lot of other changes. So even the character limit for DMs, direct messaging, has gone. Do we expect more innovation, more changes in the way we operate and the way we use Twitter?
Refining what we believe is an iconic service will continue to be one of the most important strategic areas of focus and development going forward. You've just described a very small set of things that we've tried to do in the last several months to improve the service, and they're really working. Another great example is a service we call While You Were Away. Sometimes people find it very difficult to stay on top of all the great tweets that are coming in all the time. It can feel overwhelming. We've made that easy for you. So what we do is, based on knowing your interests and what you like to consume, we take those tweets and we make sure they're seen at the top of your timeline so that it's easy to access, easy to interact with and consume. You'll continue to see us do more and more things like that for the benefit of consumers.